Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of the Daily Crypto Byte. Today is Thursday, September 2nd, and we've got lots of green on the board today. So, very excited about today's episode. Plenty to talk about. But before we dive into it, CJ, John, how are you gentlemen doing today?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm bullish as usual, and I'm sure anybody watching is shocked to hear that. But I actually listened to that Raoul Pal explanation where he overlays the Ethereum chart over Bitcoin from 2017. Monty, I think you mentioned yesterday that you had been listening to him with his price predictions just a day or two ago that same way. And boy, obviously Ethereum's outperforming like crazy right now. And it's up 20% in the last 7 days. But I think part of that reason is Raoul Pal. He is just really an uber bull, in particular for Ethereum, where he sees, I think, 5x by year end. Isn't that right, Monty?
Yeah, I think he's predicting a potential 20K Ethereum by March and 100K Bitcoin by end of year. And I think even 150K Bitcoin by March as well. So very, very bullish predictions there. And ETH has been just absolutely ripping the last couple of days, like you said, John. And I think it's setting up September to be a pretty interesting month because Bitcoin has been, today it's performing well, but not as well as the rest of the board, which is sets up an interesting, Bitcoin dominance index to take a look at. I think that's going to be something to watch during the month of March, and we could see a lot of outperformance when it comes to the altcoins versus Bitcoin. So we will definitely be watching that. But why don't we get started? CJ, you want to dive into the Bitcoin charts and take a look at those?
Sure thing. Let's give a quick recap here as we brush over 50K in Bitcoin. So two very nice bullish engulfing candles here and are really making a second go at this critical Fibonacci level of the 618. The first time we tested it back on the 23rd, just barely had kind of an inverted hammer candle or a shooting star candle off of that. Did not have the momentum to actually close above that resistance level. But now the more days we spend here hanging out above 48K and forming sufficient support, I think that leads to a high likelihood of bullish price action, especially with the supply shock that we talked about yesterday and that particular supply shock RSI that we had showed. But if you look beyond 51K roughly, there really isn't a whole lot of resistance until 56 and then ultimately new all-time highs. So if the bulls are to truly take a lot of momentum here, we may be seeing new all-time highs from Bitcoin a little bit sooner than we've thought. We're certainly very close to reaching new all-time highs in Ethereum, and we've already done so in many other of the very strong altcoins. We mentioned on the weekly charts that we did have that bullish crossover in the MACD that is very promising and really shows that we could go a lot higher based on a weekly perspective because we just experienced that confirmation with the crossover. Now we're starting to actually see that follow through come to fruition. And, based on our previous run up here, we could have a lot of room to the upside in terms of bullish momentum beginning here. But there's a lot of other altcoins as well that are seeing kind of unusual volume that we'll hit on towards the Doge of the day. But overall here, I think we're still very neutral bullish as the S&P, the NASDAQ kind of grind towards to new all-time highs as well. But risk on all around.
And to that point about risk on, CJ, I just want to quickly share this chart here from looking to Bitcoin. This is the relative unrealized P&L chart. And I got an alert for this morning because we did cross back into the greed zone. We're kind of right in between optimism and greed. But as you can see here, I typically use this indicator when we're to look to the capitulation zone. Whenever we move in here, this is typically a great time to accumulate Bitcoin. It has been in 2015, 2017, 2019, and again here in 2020. But looking to the upside, we're just now passing into the greed zone. And historically, what we've seen is that is the tail leg of the market cycle when we really go parabolic. And we always talk about confluence of indicators as well. I think if you look at this relative unrealized P&L chart and kind of where we're at in terms of, optimism and greed, it really aligns well with the stock to flow model as well, kind of telling us that we're oversold relative to stock to flow, but we're kind of headed towards that last leg of the model where we're going to get some real parabolic price action. So I think that's definitely worth noting. As you can see, historically, this has been a time in which price action has just been absolutely parabolic. And I think that given both this model and the stock to flow model, it's setting us up for a very, very bullish end of year for Bitcoin. So just wanted to quickly share that with you guys.
Oh, thank you for sharing. I got that alert this morning as well. I think if you go on to a lot of the macro data models on lookintobitcoin.com, they have a phenomenal confluence in where we are in the market cycle. But with that, I'll leave it.
Well, and our buddy Raoul Paul also was talking, Monty, about that in the final quarter of the year, when we've had a bullish move like we've had, that's when you can see, anywhere from 2x to 10x into the end of the year. And, obviously he cites things like that 2017 chart where we just went parabolic, just like to your point. So the fact that you and Raoul Paul are on the same page there is certainly a bullish sign. If you don't mind, I'd love to share one couple slides, if that's okay, guys. I'll make them quick.
Go for it.
All right, let's see here. Share screen. I did this yesterday successfully, so let me see if I can get it done here today successfully. There we go. All right, so my former cohort in Doge, I was in it before Elon, by the way, but that's not what I wanted to show you guys. That's just a teaser to get kind of slide going. This is, I was out to dinner last night with a couple pretty astute crypto guys, and we were talking about, I used this slide also with Benzinga the other day. On the bottom of that screen, folks, you're seeing, and I encourage you not to look at me, but to blow up the chart, make it your full screen or something, because you'll appreciate it all the more. On the bottom of that, it shows the various offshore exchanges like Deribit, like OKX, like Bitcom, LedgerX, and so forth, Binance. And you look at the volumes because these are BTC, Bitcoin, option volumes. And look at Deribit, $1 billion maximum, average $550 million. And look at those days as you go across there. You can see over on the left side of the screen the dollar value of what's traded. So that's what they say, 554 million. And look at it versus everybody else. Look at it versus bit.com or, it's almost embarrassing, even though I like these guys at the CME. Look at that, 11 million a day. Now, there are several things at play here. Number one, they're offshore. And so a lot of folks that want more leverage than they can get at the CME are getting it through a Deribit or any of these other exchanges. So it's not fair. It's not apples to apple comparison, because the Apple that's domestic is subject to CFTC regulations, because that's what the CME is guided by. And these guys offshore, not guided. But look at that, those red bars, that's the Deribit. That little thing on top, that's what everybody else is. So that's why when I'm looking at options, because frequently we get questions at Market Rebellion Crypto about, okay, Doc, well, where do you trade? What do you look for? And so forth. I wanted you guys to see that. Second thing real quick, when we've talked in the past about volatility, I thought this was tough to find a better example than this. So this is from, obviously it's a 1-year chart of Bitcoin volatility, just like it says. And when the volatility of Bitcoin is 6, as we've said to you many times, that's 6 times 16. So it'd be like if the OEX right now, or not OEX, the S&P right now is trading at 1590 or whatever the VIX is. That's a 1 on this same chart. That's a 1. So this is 6 times more volatile than the S&P. That was June 20th. And then you see how it bled all the way off to 3.3%, which is 3.3 times 16, which is about 52. So we went from 103 to 52. So that means that's a big crush in volatility, right? Why is that relevant for you traders out there? Here's why. When Bitcoin bottomed, that's when the vol was 6.4% or 103. As you see, it's gone, if you want to say parabolic, go ahead, but it certainly had a nice rally. I use this, and Pete uses this as a guide, because the 3 V's are just as viable in crypto. There's a 4th V, just as viable in crypto, and they are volume, volatility, velocity. So this shows all 3 of those. So as the volatility was high, what do you want to do? I want to own Bitcoin, and I want to sell pumped up vol. Now, as you've seen, the volatility's already lost half of its value, which means that if you had options against your Bitcoin, if you owned Bitcoin at 31,000 like me, and you'd written 35,000 calls against it, and then you just kept buying them back and rolling them up, the volatility kept coming down in those calls. It was almost impossible not to make money on that trade. And it made such a big move that those are the triggers we're looking for: volume, volatility, velocity. And you had all 3 in what Bitcoin just did from the June 20th through the end of August. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing and take it back with you guys.
Great stuff, John. Thank you very much for sharing that. Those are all very important metrics going back to first open interest. I know you mentioned the CME is showing very little volume. I agree. Right now, Deribit is just dominant. But I think that looking to, CME starting to take back some of that market share will be a good gauge of kind of institutional open interest as well. We've seen that in the past in October of 2020. Hopefully we'll see that again as well. But transitioning to the altcoins, like your 3 V's, I think are applying well, or are good metrics to look at right now for a lot of altcoins as well, particularly the volume. We're getting lots of volume across the board in the alts. So lots of interesting potential doges of the day today. Would you guys like to hop right into our doges of the day?
Sure. Do you want to kick it off, CJ or Monty, or do you guys want me to?
Feel free, sir.
It's tough to ignore this Polkadot volume. Not that any of the 3 of us are about overlooking. We want to look for rather than overlook. But this one, Polkadot, has been experiencing some pretty interesting volume. It just fell off. So does that mean you buy it here? No, I want a volatility surge. I want a volume surge. Not seeing it right now in Polkadot. So maybe the altcoins just continue to dominate and run to the upside, but I'm saying I've liquidated my Polkadot, because right now on a 24-hour clock, I show the volume down 29%. That ain't what I want to see if I want to hold a coin. And these are trades. These are not me hodling these. And it's also not me hating Polkadot. I love it. I think Polkadot and Solano and some of these altcoins that really help with these new projects are fantastic. Sushi Swap. But for this one, when I see volume fall off, guys, that's a warning symbol for me.
Thank you very much for that, John. I'm in my dot position still, so I like to hear that. You can earn 12% on Voyager just for holding dots. So win-win. Win-win there.
That is a win. And you just got paid yesterday.
That's right. I love those interest notifications. They were just rolling in all day. Felt really good. But CJ, what do you got in terms of doges of the day? I know you were looking at some pretty interesting assets that we haven't talked about in a while, so I'm curious to hear what you're going to pick.
Yeah, the first one that's interesting that I really haven't discussed in quite a while is GLM. And this is an incredibly quiet project, and it's strictly a volume play today, because this one in terms of relative trading volume, is up over 600%. And it hasn't done like, 100% in price. It's up 14%. But that volume was really interesting in what we've seen these past couple weeks. This is a chart going back all the way to 2018 and 2017 on Binance. You can see that, we are coming up on those previous highs that we set in March of earlier in the year. But nevertheless, I just wanted to put this one on the radar because it has seen an extraordinary amount of volume. And this is a low cap asset, and it doesn't take much volume to really come in there and move price around quite a bit. So maybe just add that one to the watch list. But the one that I do want to pick today for a very textbook technical reason just has to do with sushi or sushi swap. And I don't want to limit, my Doge of the day choice just to this asset because there are so many altcoins. I'm sure, Monty will mention some as well that have such a favorable technical setup in our current market conditions. So if we check out sushi here, very nice surge in volume yesterday above the average. That's also coming off the back of a TD sequential buy 9 as we kind of come down here and form the actual bottom of the handle of the cup and handle pattern off of the Williams alligator support and resistance. So I really like that from a technical perspective, and I like the volume that we're seeing as well. However, that does not just go for sushi. There are a lot of assets out here that I would really love to trade today, but this is the general technical formation that I've got my eyes on.
Good stuff. Yeah, GLM, that is a name we haven't heard in a very long time. And that volume is significant because when you see that volume, it's retail money trading that. So good indication that retail money is coming in, looking to those low cap assets like GLM. To me, a very bullish indication. So thank you for that, CJ. But like you said, there's lots of assets today that could be fun to trade. Lots of, just for technical reasons alone. And one in particular that I'm looking at today is Matic or Polygon. And the reason for that is, purely technical. Well, I guess also fundamental. I do like Polygon from a fundamental perspective, but today I like it for technical reasons. Yesterday, I was waiting to see if we got this bullish engulfing candle with this nice close here. Very nice stuff. Nice bounce off the 20-period smooth moving average here. And this, too, is showing a cup and handle formation, but it almost is looking a bit delayed to some other assets. Like, let's compare this real quick to Link. And where Link's at is in its current point in time, it's already kind of, broken out above this breakout level and is showing signs of continuation. So going back to Matic, I think that, we're approaching this breakout level here of about $1.60. It got a really nice bounce with this bullish engulfing candle. We're seeing volume tick up. I would like to see that continue today. This is another one that, doesn't see a whole lot of volume. So any increase in volume should be seen as significant. And I think that what we're seeing right now could definitely qualify as that. So I like Matic. Like we've been talking about all week, there are a couple ways you can play this. An aggressive entry would be, now we got this bullish engulfing candle. We're headed up to retest breakout levels. Or if you're a more conservative trader, perhaps just wait for a breakout above this level of $1.60 here, which would be confirmation that we're breaking out of this cup and handle formation. So that is my Doge of the day today. But like CJ said, there are lots of interesting assets across the board today in crypto. So take a look at all of them.
Well, remember, folks, the three of us trade on Voyager. We're not paid to do that. We do have a deal with Voyager, and the same deal that you can get, which is, as Monty said, you can get double-digit payments for your deposited crypto, like Polkadot. All of you can get that. That's not a special deal for the three of us. The deal that they offer everybody that types in to the promo code Rebel25 is that they'll give you $25 in Bitcoin. I think in El Salvador, guys, the president down there has said he's going to give every citizen $30 in Bitcoin. Well, you guys can get $25 in Bitcoin just by signing up over at Voyager. Don't have to be a citizen of El Salvador. And they have 60 plus cryptos. It's a great trading app. It tracks very efficiently all of your holdings, and it's like light speed trading. When you say buy it, you buy it. It's very, very fast. So check out Voyager and type in Rebel 25. And don't forget, if you want to join CJ and Monty in the room, the crypto trading room, you can join. It's just $1 for your first month. After that, it goes up to $39 if you want to continue. But it's $1 for the first month. So you pay 1/39th of what 2,000 other people are paying to be in that room just to check it out and to basically use the charts, use the combined experience of all of those traders, not just our traders, but everybody in that room. I think you'll really find it helps your trading. And for $1, I don't know how you can get anything better than that.
Absolutely. Bang.
Bang.
Well, thank you guys. Oh, go ahead, CJ.
It is a very special day, though, because today is the first day of Rebellion Capital Partners crypto fund going live. So going to be more news about that coming forth in the next few weeks. But Monty, I'll let you close it off, sir.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Lots of exciting stuff going on. So definitely head over to the crypto room, and we will see you guys again tomorrow with another episode of the Daily Crypto Byte. Have a great rest of your day and take care.
See you, folks.